We're about 1 month away from the airing of the new live-action Avatar on Netflix, and we might get lucky with a couple of other trailers leading up to the release, but we gotta look at what the first official trailer had in store, what they snuck in, and maybe what they're gonna actually use to not only keep us old dinosaurs that were fans of it, but bring in a new era of Avatar addicts. If this is the first time on the channel and you like these kinds of videos, go check out some of my other ones. And like and subscribe for more. Now let's get after it. Going mostly in order of the trailer. Right out of the gate, the opening scene, we already see Zhao's warship, which they did one absolutely badass. And for them to be able to take what they showed in the cartoon to make it into this CG is just hypes you up for the rest of it. And throughout the whole trailer, we have this voice in the background narrating everything.
The world needs the Avatar.
And at first I thought it was Avatar Roku, because it was really reminiscent of the voice actor from the anime.
You are at your most powerful.
But before you pause and absolutely rage in the comments, we can all agree it's Monk Gyatso, which was also confirmed by the creators. And it's also almost the exact speech that they gave to Aang when they first told him that he was the Avatar. They show us a little bit more of the raiding of the Air Temple from the Fire Nation, but who is this beautifully bearded firebender? Now if we zoom in and look at the chaos, we can see some firebenders out for the count, and he's fighting somebody that looks like an airbender based off of the robes that he's probably wearing. It's a little hard to tell, but they used it directly after they showed the siege in the Fire Temple, so it's safe to say it's probably Sozin. And it looks extremely similar to the scene in the anime when we find Gyatso's body surrounded by all the firebenders. Gyatso versus Sozin? Yes, please. Throughout the trailer, we get a lot of landscape scenes, and we get to see the Fire Nation and Ozai. A lot of Ozai. And what can we say? He's a man's man. Look at that physique. He put a lot of work in. Shout out to Daniel Day Kim. Legend. We get little snippets of some pretty iconic scenes, like Zuko jumping in to fight the Earthbenders that probably captured Iroh. That's what it looks like. They're riding ostrich horses, which is really hard to say, and can we just discuss how beautiful the creatures look so far? Big W. And this whole scene is going to be sick, because I want to see Iroh just go absolutely off. He's one of the best characters in the game. Period. They show us the ruins of the Southern Air Temple. They show us Kyoshi Island, which you can see with the massive statue of Kyoshi, and the iconic flexing of Aang doing the air scooter. And I am so stoked that they actually kept that in. Leading into more Iroh and Zuko. They show us his ship, which they made a little bit more ornate than the anime, but I think they're finally putting a little bit of respect on his name, and that's I'm all in for. We get a closer look at his scar, which we might get a little bit of debate with in the community. Yes, should his ear and his eyebrow be melted off? Sure. But any more intense than that, and we might be kind of pushing past it being more of a kids show than it should be, and honestly, it does the job. And Iroh, I cannot imagine another person that fits this role, at least visually as good as he does, but you can't judge off the trailer, so we're gonna have to see what happens. And they show him bending a little bit, and I know that people are gonna be absolutely screaming from the rafters about the little flare thing that he does before he does do some bending work. Iroh was always somebody that did things properly. He had pride in that, and he knew that they had a purpose. A lot of the things that Iroh did were for Zuko's sake. He never really listened because he was so stubborn, but he learned by visual and practice. So he would do things in front of him, and then Zuko would copy it. That's my take on it. Get over it. We get a good old look at Appa and some of Aang's acting, and honestly, I'm happy with it. Now, I don't know what the budget was. I didn't look into it too much, but like this whole show is going to be extremely CGI heavy. But as long as things aren't coming out as polygons and they do a really good job stylistically, I think we're all going to be pretty happy with it. And this quick scene of Aang,
I don't want the responsibility.
man, emotions, baby. You can tell that he's invested in it, and he's really capturing like the fear and pain that Aang has with everything that it was, because he never really wanted to be the Avatar. We all know that. But it's good. I think he did a really good job. And I don't know about you, but when I cry to my friends about the enormous pressure that being the Avatar is in my life, I cry and can't pronounce words either. And speaking of CGI heavy, enter Momo, and he looks so good. I want him. Enter more creatures of the series. We finally see Nyla the Shirshu, and what we can see looks good. Maybe a little small. It's a weird angle, so we'll have to find out in either our new trailer or when the show drops. And we get June. Hello. And in the trailer reaction I did, I by accident saw this monstrosity of a creature and thought it was Nyla. There's obviously Heibai during the whole winter solstice story, and I thought maybe he would be a lot bigger, like in the anime. The shot doesn't do justice, and he looks gnarly, and I absolutely love it. And he kind of resembles a panda. We finally get a good look at the Kyoshi warriors, and Sokka's right in the fray with them, and I love it. But they're fighting Zhao, not Zuko, so that's interesting, and we'll see what happens there. Sokka's using his club. The Kyoshi warriors are in full garb. They don't have Sokka fully dressed up. I hope they have at least one scene where they do that, because it's just perfect, and it's Sokka. You need to have his comedy in there, and he's a little rigid throughout this whole trailer, so Umashu. Oh boy, Umashu. This is an absolutely aesthetically pleasing smash to the eyeballs. They got the slides, they have the structure set up, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I'm kind of built like an earthbender, so I have a special affinity with the Earth Nation. Now I just need to see the Cabbage Man in action, and I can retire happy. And the Blue Spirit, and it looks so good. Yeah, it's not the craziest thing from the show that they have to duplicate, but it's such a good storyline. They show us Jet and the Rebels, the trusty Boomerang coming in hot, and we get a quick little rapid shot of Boomy, and God, I cannot wait for his madness. We get a lot of airbending from Aang. We get Boomy doing earthbending. We see Katara doing her waterbending and it turns into ice. And we see a lot of Zuko firebending. For the most part, they all look pretty good. I think they all have this slight air of nervousness around them, especially after the whole M. Night debacle. But I personally think that they're going to end up good after the release happens. The water honestly looks pretty clean. Airbending looks very clean. I like what they did in this with the firebending. When they initiate it, it smokes a little bit, and then when it gets blocked or hits, it smokes even more. Like, that whole thing is a really nice little touch. But the earthbending looks a little bit harder for them. Maybe that's the hardest one for them to animate. It kind of has a little bit too much soft, sandy kind of feels to it, but we'll see what happens. And the iconic full Avatar state to wrap it all up. Don't know about you, but this is probably going to be absolutely goated. And that's all I got. And I really hope that they do give us some either more trailers or some short little teasers to just kind of gas us up going into it, because I've had goosebumps from my toenails upwards since I saw this. And if I missed anything, let me know below. Be healthy, stay healthy, keep lifting each other. Like, subscribe for all of the goodness. See you in the next one.